says, seems to me there was a tea party in Boston that was illegal, too.
I have directed Secretary Connally to suspend temporarily the convertibility of the dollar into gold.
We shall seek to establish and maintain a dollar which will not change its purchasing and debt-paying power during the succeeding generation.
As anguished shrieks rose up from the floor of the New York Stock Exchange.
Government credit and government currency are really one and the same thing. A reserve of gold and a small reserve of silver.
So, and I said, well, what if it does happen? And he says, well, price will solve everything. I said, thanks, give me the gold.
Why do central banks hold it? Well, it's a form of reserves. So why don't they hold diamonds? Well, it's tradition, long-term tradition.
Well, some people still think it's money.
Welcome back to the Junius Maltby Channel. Good evening. You are live on the most boring channel on YouTube. Here are the extemporaneous ramblings of a madman broadcasting live and unscripted with the bowl cut albino hobbit. I wish I could get it on the show. Imagine having Janet Jello on the show. And what we're doing is we are going to adjust the base interest rate for the returns of the interest on the national debt. It's the thing that we're talking about, the national debt and whatnot and everything. And I forgot my glasses, so I'm squinting at the camera because I don't have them. I don't have them with me. I left them at my brother's house, Saul Rosenberg. Hello, can you see me, sir? Hi. Stop laughing at me. Anyways, welcome to the channel. I started this a little earlier, about 2 minutes earlier than normal, because I wanted to engage with the channel community, some of you channel friends of mine. I don't get to talk to you all the time. We will get to the content. All right, it's a late night. I've got, the evening to spend with my friends, and so I'm here tonight. And before we get into all the stories here that I got pulled up, so if you're tuning in after the fact and you're going to answer the question, do you believe in the dollar and its horrors of war? We'll get to all that stuff. We're going to have probably, some extemporaneous, bizarre, late-night Junius conversation. But before we get going, channel members that are here, present and accounted for, I got Paul S., Bill Spencer, Todd S. Fox, Red Dawn, Tom Manley. I'll probably read some of these twice because there's all these names. Methodicus, Albriticus, Platinum Gnome, Spall Walker, Forgotten Creation. I've got you. There you go. Who else? Tempest 112. I'm not going to forget anybody. Let's see. Spall, I got you. Got you, Matt. Bada bing, bada boom. He's here. I love the name. Every time I read it, I want to talk like that. Hey, bada bing, bada bip, bada bop, bada boop.
You don't have to, though.
What are you doing? Hey, you don't like people from Bronklin?
No.
I'll smash your friggin' head with a friggin' bat. That's what I'll do with you. That's what I would do with you. You walk down the street, you talk respect with me. I love it. He's Bada Bing, man. It's definitely a gangster name. It just sounds like a nice establishment. Kevin James is in the house. Who else we got? Todd Fox, I got you, man. Bam, Platinum. I got you, Bam. I got you. Yukon Cornelius. Another great name. It's phenomenal. Not that any of the names are bad. It's just there's certain names. Come on, Yukon Cornelius. Timeless Kid. We're coming up on his season. Out there hunting the Bumble. Then he gets him. The Bumble's his friend. Bumbles bounce. Yukon Cornelius. Someone pointed this out once. He's like the only cartoon character. That's more stop motion, though, right? That was stop motion.
Yeah, it's like claymation.
He's like the only character that, I guess Yosemite Sam had guns too, but he's packing a piece. So I would say he's the only Christmas character out of the Christmas genre films that's carrying a gun. He's ready to go. He's actually got a gun, and I think there's a knife in his belt. But Yukon Cornelius, phenomenal name. Great character. The best thing is when him and the little elf dude, they go back. We're going to watch it again this year. I made Mrs. Maltby watch that movie like 2 years ago. You had never seen it. And I was like, are you kidding me? Because, her family's foreign.
I disagreed with a lot of things in the
movie.
But
I made her watch the show. And it was part of my childhood. If you're an American kid, you kind of grew up looking forward to Christmas to watch this bizarre, twisted story. And it is. It's kind of weird. It's a weird film. But the part where Yukon Cornelius and the little elf that wants to be a dentist, they're in that boat or something, and it's foggy. And Well, who says, he goes, "It's as thick as peanut butter." That's what Yukon Cornell says. "It's as thick as peanut butter," referring to the fog, and the kid's like, "You mean pea soup?" "You eat what you like, and I'll eat what I like." It's the best. That's a great line. It's perfect. It's art. Whoever wrote that, I remembered it my whole life. One of the best lines, any cartoon ever. "It's as thick as peanut butter." "You mean pea soup?" "You eat what you like."
All the toys that ended up on the Isle of Misfit Toys actually.
That's a dark part of the story.
There.
Well, it is.
Yeah, but if an idiot kid puts jelly in their water gun, then yeah, it's not going to work.
Yeah, there's the background. I think they could have been more. They could have explored those characters. They could have come up with other toys. I mean, I definitely had some toys when I was a kid that probably deserved to be on the Island of Misfit Toys. They just didn't function that well. You know, there was something wrong with them. But overall, it was Mrs. Maltby felt bad for him. She had like an emotional attachment for the polka dot elephant that got stuck on the island. And
yeah, that was complete BS.
We've got, who else we got in the chat? I got Ned Flanders. You're a good friend of the channel. Even though you don't have a coin after your name, I see you, my friend. And you know the code words. You're throwing down sports because we got to throw off the bots. I got a few of you in the chat throwing the bots off, doing some good flak maneuvers, distractions, diversionary techniques. You got to do that to fool the AI. I mean, they're crawling our speech these days. So the more Travis Kelce's mentioned, the better. Any other, whatever else, whatever media horror you can come up with. Oh, yeah, we've got a few of you that have been in, and I'm going through the names, saying welcome to everyone. Thank you. First off, Cosmic Koala. Thank you. Super chat. I see it. Just got on, as you said, bada bing, bada bang. Much love. All right. Thanks, my friend. And thank you for the super chat there. Bill Spencer, thanks for gifting some memberships. Look at that. He's giving the memberships away. And then Rolf Steiner, one of the all-time friends, and I would even call him like a founding member of the Junius Maltby. An OG. Beyond that, though. I mean, Rolf Steiner is one of the foundational members of this community and probably one of the biggest content providers and field reporters in the field who sends dispatches from afar. He lives on the other side of the planet. I won't tell you where. I keep him private. But he's a good guy, and he's been a major part of this channel's history. He says the first battleground is to rewrite history, to be unburdened. What has been... I know where he's going with this. He's doing a Kamala quote. "To be unburdened by what has been burdened by what has been," said Lenin and the Jewish Bolsheviks, in order to create a, quote, "new man, utopia." President Harris repeats this. Will the Zionist New World Order be the final utopia? Yes, it is. They're making utopia, man. They're burning through our tax dollars to make it work, and they're gonna bomb the world into a better place. Because I don't know if you saw the quote recently. Sometimes this came out of like the DC, the State Department or something. What's his name? Jon Stewart did a way better segment. Obviously, he's a pro at this stuff, But like he mentioned it, and sometimes I do happen to see kind of eye to eye with that guy on various issues. I think a lot of us would. It's not all. You don't have to think like exactly like the next person on every single issue, but there's a lot of times, especially during the Gulf War era. When America was just, violating sovereign nations on a whim, based on lies and just massacring people and invading nations and killing millions of people for literally no reason whatsoever other than some familial grudges. He tried to kill my father! And oil. oil! Man. Say something about oil. And then, of course, the nation of Israel, which America is somehow just a slave to providing wealth, blood, and treasure to. So that whole thing, when Stewart was kind of attacking those issues back in the day, although he never really did touch one of them. He never touched the third rail. Of course not, right? But there were times where I found myself more aligned with a lot of people, unfortunately, on that side of the aisle, I guess you could say, because it was very rare to be as have the worldview that I have, but to be as anti, I guess you could say, war and anti-U.S. foreign policy. It was very unpopular when I was younger. And I would argue, I would even say, yes, I probably lost friends over the issue. I would actually say that I did. I know I did. There are people that are not a part of my life, period, because of my worldview the moment the United States postured and took on and did what it did from about 2002, 2003, especially with Iraq. and forward, the next 16 to 20 years, I guess. Yeah, I mean, there's religious institutions I stopped giving to and being affiliated with because of various ideological and, those types of reasons. So, not to get off on a tangent, but anyways, my friends, back to the chat. We've got Ray Finkel. Thank you, my friend. He goes, did he... I can't read the whole thing, Ray.
Putting Junius on
Diddy
the spot
touched
with these.
Not today, Diddy. Ray Finkel left a comment about Diddy. You can read it. Thank you, Ray, for the support of the channel. All the other channel members, coins after names. I see you. I saw you all. Rolf, Bill Spencer. If I'm missing you, Silver Lining, Dude Dave. Is that everybody? I'm going to pretend that I got everybody. Adrian. I think I see you, Adrian. Adrian, I see you in there. You know who that is, right? Do you know who I'm referring to? You get the reference. You better. Adrian. The rest of my tea. Can you take the little?
Can you take that
it's my
thing
tea plate.
away from me?
I had tea and whatever the little crumpets with the. This is the British stuff. I don't know what it's called.
Your last crumpet?
No, that's yours. You can eat it. I told you to eat it. All right, friends. So back to the family. Back to the chat. Glenn Osborne, William Gerke, good to see you both. Tonight, again, David Crumry. Look at this, my friend. Thank you for the support, my friend. Thank you. Super chat. Nothing to say. Just wow. We can get to the stories, things. News. I guess I'll give you a little update on the coin situation. I heard you guys. I was answering the call. You guys have been screaming about, not screaming. You guys have been, pounding on the table. Really wanting to get the channel coin made again, and I get it. We had it made way back when there was only like 10,000 subs, and then we got shadow banned like crazy when the world went nuts, and we creeped our way to about 30,000 now. So there's about 20,000 of you that probably never had a chance to order a coin, or I doubt that that's many of you here. I don't really believe the whole YouTube follower numbers. I just don't get it. I don't know how it works. There's like the same 100 people here every day. So we probably have like really 200 or 300 subscribers. I don't know where the other ones, maybe they're dead. It's part of the dead internet theory. Didn't the internet die in 2016? I don't know. All I'm going to say is you guys have been asking for a coin. I have reached out in the past to various places. They were busy. They had other stuff going on. There was the Wall Street silver situation, and there was a lot of the people, that even though we'd been around, I've been around here. We've been on this place for a bit. We've been beating on these subjects, but it's a small channel. Let's be honest. It's not like any of the big ones. I put it out there. I contacted people when you guys called me about this the first time. Nobody wanted to pick it up, really. I just didn't hear back. They were too busy, I guess. So recently, after discussing things with all of you, I sent another request out, this time to, I think it was Golden State Mint, and wait to hear back. We'll see if it was a very polite, respectful email. Just, hey, I got these dies. Over here. You want to smash some metal with them or what? So if I hear from them, I'll hear from them. If not, I don't know. When I'll just mail the dies to one of you guys, you can just hit them with a hammer. Abdiel Lawrence, thank you for the super chat, man. Thank you. Always another influential member of the channel. Someone who's provided information in the past, news, articles, input, dispatches. He goes, for Thanksgiving fund, the Maltbys like mac and cheese. All jokes aside, these are weird times. It's bad when Germany is cracking down on illegal immigration. Yes, it's getting weird. It's getting weird everywhere. The headlines get weirder. I told a buddy of mine the other day discussing these things. It used to be like every 6 months to a year. I guess when we were younger, these big monumental paradigm shifts and huge, epochal changes in news stories and newsworthy events, these geopolitical explosions and economic things and plagues and whatnot, whatever. Even natural disasters, it seems like have become more frequent. Like tidal waves and tsunamis, like 200,000 people dead here, massive earthquake, 100,000 people dead, just nonstop. But just even the economic side of it, the geopolitical tensions, the trade wars, currency wars, all that stuff. It seemed like when I was younger, maybe I just wasn't paying as much attention. It was like a once a year, maybe once every 2 year type of thing. Like I thought it was a big deal when like the first Gulf War happened, I was like, oh my goodness. I was a little kid. I was like, this is it. This is it. We're going to war. I mean, I thought I'm going to be in school. I was looking out the window. I was just waiting for like foreign troops or Russians to land on my playground so I could go kick one and jack his AK and, you know, shoot a bunch of them, then steal an RPG and upgrade, and then link up with my buddies and go camping for a couple of months and, you know, just work on like guerrilla ambush techniques. It was a great fantasy. As a kid in the Cold War, I was stoked all the time. I mean, I lived under the threat of imminent invasion. So I had like my bows strung up in my room, my BB guns. I had it all, like before a lot of guys did. I had my little blowout kits pretty much, like my go bag, you know, handful of BBs, Swiss Army knife. I was ready. A bear compound, 25-pound bow. I was gonna shoot a guy with a bow. I was willing to. I was actually looking forward to it. Call it twisted, call it whatever you want. Maybe you can analyze this. Analyze this! What kind of psychological condition do I have? I don't know. I should probably get a therapist or something. I should probably talk to somebody about this shit. What do you want to do with your life? I want to scalp somebody. I want to put a blade on his head and peel his scalp off. That's what I want to do. I don't know. They would probably think, I'd probably get committed. I'd get committed. This is all hypothetical. I'm working on a book. It's a screenplay. It's a story. Exactly, Tom. It was the Wolverines thing, man. I think that's, again, back to if you want to critique films, and everyone has films that were influential in their life, but when I saw Red Dawn as a kid, like I remember like putting my arm around my little brother. I had a little brother, and I immediately thought like we were the Eckert brothers, like, you know, there's Jed Eckert and Matt, right? Matty. And Matty's the little one, Jed's the big one, but it was just it just hit close to home, you know, like visiting the dad in a concentration camp, and I was really close to my dad. I had a very tight bond with him, and did a lot of things together, very similar to the way the Eckert brothers grew up, you know, the Jedediah Smith stories, the hunting, and the outdoor skills, and everything like that. So, like, that movie, you know, when I saw it, I'm like, I don't even know, 6, 7, whatever, because I think I think you should pretty much have that with your kindergarten birthday, and then you should probably watch it every year after that to really make sure that it imprints on your DNA. It's just something I recommend. It's a lifestyle choice. You just have to go with it. Try it out. They could do a study. You know, take 100 boys that don't do that, take 100 boys that do every year, watch Red Dawn from the age of 5 on up or whatever, and then the other boys can't, like the 2 test groups, and see which ones turn out different. I can guarantee you the 100 boys that watched Red Dawn every year are going to be more useful than the boys that didn't. That's just, I don't know, it's a neat psychological experiment. We could try it. We'll try it in the next go around with the whatever comes out of the ashes of this civilization. But it was great. Red Dawn was definitely something that influenced my whole childhood and going forward, especially those years. You know, every time you saw the news, you basically considered, I don't know, because I was a kid, I would listen to the news. I think the AM radio. My dad would always have the AM radio on at times, so yeah, I always pick up and hear it in the background. But it just seems like nowadays all these events more frequently. You know, when I was a kid, it was like once every decade, and once every year. Now it's like every week or every third day. You got like multiple assassination attempts. I mean, this is crazy, right? That never happened once like Reagan when I was a kid, but after that, you're like, it's impossible. No one's ever going to try that again. There's no way. It's never going to happen again. They have satellites. I've seen all the Hollywood movies. I mean, they got Matt Damon. They've got, who else they got? They got, Clint Eastwood, right? He's a Secret Service agent. Who else has played them? They got all of them. They got Jason Bourne's in there. Matt Damon. And that's, you know, the image they try to project, right? That they're super talented, like clone people that can run on walls and shoot upside down and do flips over alleyways and all this crazy James Bond garbage. But when it gets right down to it, it's like some fat bimbo who can't even holster her weapon. Like, you get what I mean? Like, they project, DC likes to project through the media, because they help fund Hollywood, the propaganda machine, that they're these impervious super soldiers, like, that are just amazing. Like, they went through MK Ultra, they got their DNA all warped, they got adamantium bones, they turned into Wolverine, all this limp onto a grassy field clutch. I mean, a kid that by all means probably eats crayon. I mean, I don't get it. I don't want to go down the whole, that we're not going to discuss that whole event. I mean, there's been so much that we've discussed on it already, and you guys probably know how I feel, but I can't. We're just not going to go there right now. Point of it is what they project. What they project is what they, you've seen how these federal agents have to carry themselves, and the things that are taking place as frequently as it is.
They can't handle roofs.
They can't. Yeah, that's right. The roofs are too steep for them, but in the movies they can, they scale buildings like Spider-Man.
Hardcore
parkour. But hey, thank you, Rolf. Another super. He goes with 1776 approaching its 250th anniversary soon. In 2026, do you see the American Empire approaching its zenith? Any cracks appearing in the veneer yet? It's funny, Rolf. We've been going downhill my whole life, so. It's been America reached its zenith. That's a great question, and I don't know when they reached their zenith. Because
we're number one at reaching.
You can point to almost anywhere in the American timeline though, and find areas that show you how it's heading towards a decline, and that it would take too long to go through them all. And the minute that Shays Whiskey Rebellion. I mean, Washington's president for 15 minutes, and some guys are fighting their taxes. Just a little east of the main colonies. I think it was in Pennsylvania or Ohio, somewhere in there. And I'm obviously like summarizing this way too much, but I don't want to. We don't have the time. These guys don't want to pay their taxes. So what does Washington do? He sends like 10,000 federal troops out there, like musters a military force to go out there and crush these guys for tax money. It's like, dude, 15 minutes ago you were shooting British for the same reason these guys are But again, you could probably break it apart. But at any point in the American timeline, it's pretty crazy. You can find, Hepburn versus Griswold, the Civil War cracked this country in half, both economically, politically, ideologically. I think Lincoln was one of the worst presidents in history. Then you got Lincoln, then you got Grant, the Supreme Court that they set up, a lot of things that came out of that. It's been a long slide, but America's been falling apart for quite some time. We're not the toughest kids on the block. We barely snuck out of the Great Depression by just coincidentally. It's a coincidence. I don't know. You noticing something? I noticed that it was a coincidence that the wars come about every time. As soon as they get the Federal Reserve System, we start getting all these big freaking wars and economic instability. And it's just interesting. I noticed some things. Have you ever noticed? You might notice. There's some coincidences that have taken place. But America's been falling apart for a long time. So I don't think I'm noticing cracks now. I think I've noticed them. There's many cracks in the tapestry of American history that go way back, almost to day one. It's a very imperfect nation, and it's very sobering for some people to have to hear that. A lot of people just can't. They're just like, no, man, God founded this country, and I'll tell you, it was in the Ten Commandments that he wrote it. He wrote America is the greatest nation in the world, and it's in it. That's just not true. That's never been stated. And the more you read history, the more you dive into these things, the more flaws you see. No one's perfect. That's the thing. We're sojourners in a foreign land. I don't think there is a perfect state. You could get into what the perfect form of government would be, and it's a difficult conversation. The only government that I think... you could get into what the perfect form of government is, and there's obviously religious perspectives, there's political perspectives, but everyone's going to have a different idea and bring something different, a different opinion to that conversation. But America's not a perfect democracy. It's not a perfect republic. It's very imperfect, and at this point, it's a corporatocracy / oligarchy / technocracy. It's a censorship state. We've lost more freedom. That's the thing. I would judge it by that alone. If you looked at a nation's freedom and what liberties prevailed and what you were allowed to do, the laws that applied to you, the amount of taxes you paid, all of that, if you broke all those down into different areas, it has only gotten worse in this country. The Patriot Act, all it did is strip people's freedoms away. They stripped more and more freedoms and liberties and privacies away from citizens in the last decade than they did in the first 150. or 200. Like, you've lost 90% of the freedoms you've ever lost as a human, as a quote self-governing biological being. You lost the most of your freedoms in the last decade easily, and it just gets worse. They just, like, the noose just tightens. So freedom-wise, America's only gone downhill. Since probably when they started making excuses to pass certain laws, like back when they were fighting the mafia back in the Prohibition days. They always had an excuse. Like, first it was like, we're fighting alcohol, and they were like, we're fighting drugs, and we're fighting terrorism. It was like, we gave women the right to vote, and now we're fighting all these things. Right, Mrs. Maltby?
Yeah.
Abdiel Lawrence, thank you for the super chat, my friend. He goes, I think the decline started on 9/11. I was 17 when it happened. The sense of dread I had going through airports in 2001 is still around in 2024. The decline started way before that. That was part of the tipping. I think they lit the fuse then. That's when they started really doing demo on the United States and breaking it apart. So again, it depends. Thanks for that discussion point. That's a good one. But I think 9/11. I would say this, Abdiel. 9/11 is when I think they revealed themselves fully.
Can I say something about
as far
that?
as what they're willing to do to people, and and censorship information was also censored.
9/11 was one of the bigger events that occurred in our country when most of the country had access to internet as well.
That's true.
So that was a pivotal point, and that's why most people remember this.
Yeah, I think it was big. I think it shocked a large part of the generation. I mean, what is it now? I read something the other day about the generation that grew up with it. So, like, I was already somewhat of an adult when it occurred, and I was busy. I was busy doing other things. I remember it happened. It was a big deal. But I wasn't going to let it consume me. I didn't let it alter my life at all. I didn't make any preparations because of it. It didn't really threaten, and I didn't really feel threatened. Like, I was pretty logical about it. Okay, they flew some planes, but okay. Do they have any troops? Well, they're over in this third world shithole in the desert on the other side of there. Do they have a navy? No. So they can't get on boats? No. Well, they flew here. They trained here. There are all these excuses, right? Like, you can catch them. Why don't we do this? Make a more secure entry method. Some borders, this kind of thing. You didn't have to go over there and do anything. Honestly, they can't get here if you do it right. Set up an iron dome, but like the one that, instead of catching missiles, that catches people, like bad guys. You can't do that? Come on. You can. They can sniff around all day. Just divert the IRS. Tell the IRS that those guys have $5 in their pocket, and they'll find them in 15 minutes. Just like every one of those, they have $5. They owe you $5. The IRS will find them in 3 seconds. Sniff them right up every orifice of their body. They'll be reaching in there. They'd be finding stuff. It'd be easy. Let's just got to sick them on it. But anyways, Rolf Steiner, he's got another. Let's see what he's saying. Iran was behind the two assassinations. I can't even say that word. Was behind the two attempts. Trump said, "This is shocking. Like when Saddam Hussein flew his planes into 9/11. At least they got him. Yeah, they got him all. They got him, Gaddafi. Remember the spider hole? He was in a spider hole, right? That's where Saddam was. And look how much better the world is. They got rid of all those bad guys, and the world is so much better. Today, it just feels much safer. I just feel so safe, Junius. I was scared. I felt so much. I was under so much stress. I mean, he had the aluminum tubes. He had the yellow cake. Oh, the best episode ever is you watch Dave Chappelle, his Black Bush. It's a pretty good view on that. That it's probably the best synopsis of that geopolitically. That entire era is summarized best by the Dave Chappelle Black Bush discussion. It's pretty funny. 9/11, it just didn't affect me that much. I don't remember it altering me. I don't remember getting too involved politically on it. I know some people did. I was out in the mountains doing mountain things, and I just had a lot more going on. And I was also in school and things like that. But Sven, thank you, my friend. Super Day goes, what's the best way? I see. You're trying to say best. What's the best way to donate when you get the most of the donation amount. Oh, I'm seeing what you're saying. I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. I actually can't. I don't know. Mrs. Maltby probably know more than me on that. I don't know how that works with the old YouTube. I mean, all I know is back to the whole coin discussion, getting a coin going for the channel. Ever since we got shadow banned and a lot of videos taken down, the whole YouTube thing, I've shared that enough in the past. You know how it is. But the channel's been not only stagnant, but yeah, it's people with channel memberships and super chats are pretty much keep the channel going at this point, because it's stalled when it came to showing up in searches, and that's just something that YouTube's been known to do. To happen to other channels. I'm not the only one, but it just depends on how many times you've been slapped around and put into the Kula 30 days, Junius. Remember I used to get those for wrong speech, all because it was medical stuff too. You can't talk about that. You cannot talk about the jab. I'm telling you that's when they really lose it. They really get upset if you start talking about that. I mean, they'll probably hit me on this video for something, and I guarantee you they've gotten really good at crawling the words in the chat and just going, these people, they are talking in ways we do not want them to. We must punish them somehow. But to keep them talking, we need them to get information. It's crazy. I don't get it. Let's get to the stories tonight. We'll try to get through it. I mean, it was fun. I wanted to talk to you guys. That's why I started the video a little early. Wanted to give the channel membership some time. I think we should do that more often. I enjoy it. Just going back and forth, having a dialogue with the people that are part of this channel and make it what it is. Are you guys sick of looking at the albino hobbit bowl cut? I am. I personally am. So, the dollar. We could take this, and I would like to include all of you in it. Do you believe in the dollar? Do you? That's a serious question, because I think these things take faith, and I've brought that up in this discussion. I've brought that topic up in the past, that all views on economics and what you're using for transactions, and it all takes a little faith, right? It's like religion. It's true. Economists and the way they discuss it, and the way that it's not very tangible sometimes, other than gold, of course. It's very tangible. The discussion of economics, though, there's so many opinions, interpretations, and theories. It's very much like religion, and it takes a level of faith. And so in that, you'd have to say, do you believe? Do you believe in the economic system? Do you believe that the dollar is truth? That form of economics, that everything that's behind it, do you believe in it? Do you believe in its future, where it's going, where it's taking you, that it's clean, that it's real, that it's good, that it's a force for good? And the thing is, I can't answer any of those and say yes. I can't. Do I believe in it? No. Do I believe where it's going? No. I think it's full of, it's awash in corruption and lies. From its very inception and its entire course of existence, its path. And that's something we've discussed on this channel for years since I started it. I think it's a very strong, it's the big point. It's a foundation. It's a core belief here on the Junius Maltby Channel, is to not believe in the dollar, not have faith in the dollar or the dollar system, what it represents, its strength, who backs it, who issues it, and everything tied to it. Thank you, Richard Ramirez. He says, do the Maxine Waters voice, Mr. Maltby. Oh my goodness. Are you going to make me? I haven't listened to her in so long, I can barely. Oh man, I have to, because he said, you support the channel. You got a super chat there. Now, Junius Maltby, what you said to me, or what we heard when we was discussing your situation, we had you come before this body of Congress to tell us why it is you was telling people to buy silver and to buy gold coins and not the U.S. dollar. I believe Mr. Junius, and I don't say this lightly in these halls of governance, I would say that you is an economic terrorist. And I would say I welcome the charge. I I would agree. I would agree. I am an economic terrorist. That's what I is. That's what I is, Mrs. Walters. That's what I is. Rolf Steiner says, oh, Lord Jesus, I want to believe. Make me believe. You can't believe. There's nothing to believe. It's a lie. And the people that perpetrate it, they're prophets of deception. They're priests of debauchery and ignorance and Satanism. And these people there's nothing good in the halls of government anymore. If there ever was. I mean, it's a cult of. I mean, it's just. The more you look into all of this, the more you realize these people, they look at other humans as more of like things that can be extracted from. It's like they view you the same way I believe that like a tick views a moose. Just something they can latch onto and suck from. And that's what we are. We are something they just latch onto and suck from. They're a pest, a disease, a parasite. And they work together in a cohort, in a cabal, and they conspire together. That's like Ron Paul said years ago. What is a conspiracy? It's a group of people that are conspiring to do something wrong. Or what is it to believe in something that a conspiracy, right? To conspire. Do you believe there's people out there that conspire to do wrong? That hatch plans and scheme? That meet behind closed doors? Orchestrate things and corral things and control things and manipulate things to their end? Do you think there's a group of people that might conspire to do that? You think that might be something they intend to do? Yeah. It's not a conspiracy. It's literally the atmosphere in which we preside. It is the present. It is the environment in which we find ourselves in. It's reality. It's not a conspiracy. A conspiracy theorist would be someone who thinks like, that we're not in that situation. Like everything's cool. Everything's chill. Everything's like the TV shows, like Friends. We're going to go down to the Central Perk and have a cup of coffee and talk about a football game. That's the conspiracy. That's the non-reality. Okay. That's entertainment. That exists in Hollywood. That's not reality. Okay. It's not like a little reality. That's the thing. That's why they put those on TV. They project these false realities because everyone thinks they're now we have generations of people that have main character syndrome. They're staggering through life with their phone in their face, filming the next TikTok or Instagram reel or reporting live from a street corner, doing a stupid dance to music. It's crazy. Like these people, they all exist in it, right? They're the Truman Show. Everyone's the main character. It's all about them. We have like this egocentric, narcissistic society. It seems like at this point. I don't know. It just didn't seem like it was always this way. It just didn't seem like that. And it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate to see a society going. I think the acceleration of societal rot has really picked up. It's gotten worse, quicker. Like, we talked about earlier, the frequency in which big things happen, big global events. I would say also the velocity of societal decay, it seems like, has perked up a little bit. Like, if you look at society from, like, let's just throw down, like, 1780 to 1880, that 100-year span, societal norms and morals and ethics and things that were considered normal and good, and the gender roles, the dynamics of the home, all of those things were pretty freaking stable. You could probably even mirror them or overlap it and bring that back further to like, other than like the language, the evolution of the English language going from like German, High Dutch or whatever and all the different changes there. I would say the relationships of people and how society kind of functioned mainly was very uninterrupted for probably 400 or 500 years or more. I mean, you could throw in different regional changes there and things and such, but I mean, overall, an agrarian society of primitive means, very, very similar, right? For most of the world, especially for most of the European world and North American world, I would say, especially even if just America, if you just want to isolate it to the United States, obviously we weren't here till like 1492 it was discovered. 1500s people start coming around. But Jamestown, right, 1611 is like when some of the earliest 1600s. But you go through that 1600 to 1800, just give me that 200 years, 250 years, 280 years, something like that of very stable generational lifestyles and norms, traditions, values, culture. That's really been shattered to the point where, like, in the last 50, if you look at the acceleration in those changes, where it's gone, it's just eroded. I mean, there's no other way to put it. It's being washed away. It's being diluted. It's being sucked into an ocean of feces and floating hypodermic needles. I don't know, whatever else you want to envision. Just like a giant sewage pipe. Like, you had this crystal clear spring that was flowing, nurturing the ground around it, and you had, beautiful moss and ferns, and, this arboreal forest that's percolating through, and it's like it just got washed into one of those concrete culverts that go through a city and just pick up all the trash along the way. That's what it seems like it's happening now. Thank you, Rolf, for another super chat. He goes, you mean that there are bad people running this? Yes, the worst, actually. Some of the most heinous people that have ever probably had this type of power in history. I would say and this is going to be hard. I don't think some people are going to be able to handle this. I would say that some of the worst minds, some of the worst people in power, to hold positions of power and have authority at the international level, some of the worst ones to exist are today, right now, currently. And you're like, Junius, they didn't kill, there's no Holodomor, there's no this, there's no that, yet. There's no Holodomor yet. Okay, knock on wood when you say that. Well, they haven't done this, they haven't done that. This hasn't happened. They're genociding people. You're just not there. You're not on the front lines of it yet. You're just not in the mix yet, you see. And they got a pretty good job of the information lockdown, but you might be. I mean, they haven't got you yet. You haven't suffered food disruptions yet. Your lights are on for now. You have fresh water for now. Okay? You're not on like some uninterrupted continuum. I mean, we don't have the normalcy bias here. This is a normalcy bias free zone. I'll take another swig of water. So at any point, we can be disrupted. Your life can be disrupted, and you'll have to make decisions to adapt. At any point, nothing is normal. There is no continuum. This isn't just the way it is. We're living in the abnormal. The normal is more hardship than this. If you're watching this on a screen and reading this, and you're hearing this, that means you have Wi-Fi or you have internet where you are, right? If you're able to engage and safely, and you're obviously not distracted. I mean, you're not laying in a ditch somewhere taking gunfire currently, right? At least I hope not. Most of you are probably fed. I mean, otherwise you'd be out looking for food, right? You wouldn't be on this screen right now. You'd be like, I'm going to listen to the Junius Maltby Channel. My stomach hurts. I haven't eaten in 3 days. Damn it. No, you'd be out scrounging. You'd be, baking some sawdust bread or killing rats or, looking for something. You wouldn't be watching this. So we're all doing pretty well, right? I acknowledge that, yeah. For now. For right now you are. You're doing well. You're doing good today. Rolf Steiner says, it only takes one nuke to spoil your whole weekend. Yeah, it just takes one. And I see Bill Spencer with Iran and Israel at war now. One would figure there'd be a tiny twitch in the gold price, yet zip, none, nada. A little bit. There's been a little movement. I mean, when that was announced and it started hitting, there was a little bit of movement. But we gotta look. These guys got a lot of paper, man, and they can move it around. You gotta wait. You gotta wait till the COMEX crashes. But back to the original question I posed: do you believe in the dollar? No, I don't. Here's a piece actually. To mention Rolf. Rolf, I think you sent me this article earlier today. This is a Rolf Steiner special right here. Let's talk about it. Let's go through some of these news pieces that we looked at earlier. Bank of America customers report widespread outage, zero balances. Bank of America, huh? Bank of America customers on Wednesday reported having problems accessing their bank accounts, or their account balances currently show $0. That's interesting. I mean, what do you call that? Is that stability? Is it a bank run? What the hell is this? What is this? What are you doing with it? I mean, what would you do? If that was me, I would have a problem with that. You know, this is not a good thing. This is like, you know, this would cause Mrs. Maltby some stress. I can guarantee it. About an hour later, more than 20,000 user complaints were submitted via the website. Bank of America outage reported in the last 24 hours. Pretty big deal. Epoch Times' Jack Phillips reports that numerous Bank of America users have posted screenshots of empty bank accounts balances on social media. An Epoch staff Times member, that's kind of weird. Like, if I had a zero balance in my bank account, that's not something I'd usually send out there to everyone. I guess if you're trying to stir people up, though. Some users on social media stated the Bank of America had not yet alerted them to the issue. Meanwhile, some users reported having problems with Zelly, the digital payment system that is used by multiple banks and is owned by Bank of America and several other banks. We got a problem here? Sounds like something's going on. The Charlotte, North Carolina-based bank has not released details about what's causing the issue. Hi, sorry to see this. If you're still experiencing the concern, please click below and let us know. Thank you. Is that what they're sending people? That's one Bank of America representative wrote on X to a user who expressed concerns about logging in. Hi, we're sorry to say, sorry, like, we just can't really address that right now. We're just having a lot of things, a lot of pressure. Sorry.
It's because their Verizon didn't work.
Hi, sorry to see you're still experiencing the concern. Please click, okay. And then, what is this here? Let's see. Hello, your concerns caught our attention. Please let the link below connect us. Okay, Epoch Times. Last year, fellow banking giant Wells Fargo issued an alert on his website after customers reported not seeing their paychecks and direct deposits in their accounts. I think I remember that. Several users on social media were quick to remind everyone that the Bank of America CEO Brian Moynihan's comments just a few years ago, Bitcoin is highly speculative, and you could wake up one day and your account would be worth $0, and it's gone. And I can't play that because YouTube will jack the video. You're not allowed to borrow content like that. I played this link once before, and YouTube blocked the video.
I recall.
All because I played that clip. And it's gone. You just can't do it. So Bank of America's having some problems. I woke up to this morning. I told you my platinum bros. I know I got some messages earlier. Junius, platinum went up. Platinum ratio, platinum silver ratio, listen that. Look, man, I don't care. I don't care about platinum or palladium. You're my friends. I like you. We can be buddies. We don't have to see eye to eye on everything. But I don't like platinum and palladium. I'm not going to buy it. I'm sorry. Too tight to the automotive industry. And I saw the prices dropping a while ago. I think they predicted this. I think they saw it coming. The platinum traders knew. Because sure enough, U.S. auto sales extend free fall in third quarter. People are not buying cars. And cars are not being ordered. And therefore, we're not making catalytic converters. Therefore, no one's buying platinum or palladium. It's very simple. Follow the math. Supply demand. Where they intersect, you have price. G-Dub. Hey, my friend. Thank you for the super chat. He goes, I got to read it. Let's see. I have tons of physical, but also lots of gambling money. I can afford to lose when a ton of crappy junior miners lose in a ton of crappy junior miners. I'm reading the screen across the room. Would you hodl the juniors or keep it in cash in case of a crash? Not financial advice. Yeah, I don't give financial advice. I have no idea. If I tell you one thing, it's going to do the opposite. All right, you go with your guts on this. I mean, you got to do your own thing. I'm not gonna pretend because I can't predict these types of things. I'm a big physical guy.
Expensive.
I don't like miners. The thing is, I played with them in the past, and I don't like them. My thing is, I'm not gonna buy stock in a gold mine. I'm gonna buy gold.
They guzzle electricity.
Yeah, there's no counterparty risk. Your gold can't go bankrupt. It can't default on you. It doesn't owe anybody any money. It doesn't have to play the all-inclusive cost per ounce sold and repair the mountain after and do environmental cleanup and pay off dictators and ship this and clean that. And it's just, I'm not a big fan of miners. I never have been. I'd rather buy like other things. I mean, because I'm just not into them. I never have been. I mean, I bought oil once when I was messing around. Yeah, I bought a bunch of oil stuff back in the day and played with it and then sold it, got rid of it. And then now I just don't like it anymore. Sometimes I think about it just to have fun, just to throw some stuff around. Like you said, gambling money, the casino of Wall Street. But I just don't enjoy it anymore. I think it's, you get a little hooked or you get too into it. And honestly, I don't like giving any of those crooks money because someone's scraping it from the amount you got in there. And to me, the whole thing seems Ponzi because there's never enough to cash everybody out. If everybody shows up one day to these places to try to get, nobody can be cashed out. So you're always robbing money from the next guy, it seems like. It just seems like anybody who's in there is dirty. Everyone who's exposed to it just gets a little dirtier. I don't know. I just feel the closer you get to these people, the more you just get, I don't know. I'm not judging you. Do what you got to do. I mean, again, I've been right in there. I've been in the mud with the pigs. I've eaten the slop, but I don't like them. I don't like those people. Would Americans be 100% supportive of big bank bail-ins to save the banking oligarchs, the Jewish banking oligarchs, as otherwise the whole American dream might fall apart? I think Americans will be 100% supportive of big bank bail-ins. I think they will. They did it last time. They don't care. Most Americans don't care.
Hey, you just
the biggest thing,
a donut.
If you tell them this, here's what you do. If you tell the Americans the Super Bowl will be postponed until further notice, we won't have it. We're not going to have a Super Bowl unless we're able to get these banks back up and running again. They would show up tomorrow selling one of their
They'd show up yesterday.
You could do a kidney drive and you'd get 150 million kidneys mailed in on ice in this country. That's how bad these people would want their Super Bowl. They'd cut it out themselves. They'd be like, man, just give me another swig of that whiskey. Take my kidney, man. We got to get the Super Bowl back on, Vern. They would. They'd mail it to you on ice. Their cousin Vern would cut it out for them. That's a true story. Guarantee that would happen. No, you don't have to worry about it. They'll get the bail-ins. They just got to scare them. They just got to scare them enough. I mean, look, they're gonna drum up support. Look, Americans are drowning. We've had 4 or 5 Appalachian states wiped out. Right? This hurricane just annihilates these places. The National Guard is being put on notice to go fight for Israel. Some of those guys have family, homes, attachments, and relationships in the hard-hit areas, and they're not being allowed to get leave to go home to help their families because they're on notice to be on leave to go fight for Israel. That says everything you need to say right there. That's all you need to know. That's all you need to know about that. That tells you everything. And they don't have the money. They're not going to get the money from the feds because why? Because they're giving it to Israel and Ukraine. Every single month, $8 billion more to that Zelensky piece of shit. 8 billion, 8 billion, 8 billion, 8 billion, 20 billion, 90 billion. It's like, I don't know what it is now, but it's a lot. And I can guarantee you those places in Carolinas and all throughout Appalachia, those Americans who work hard and grind and pay taxes. Yeah, taxes. They're going to be left in squalor, in apocalyptic conditions for the next several decades. Some of those landscapes and homes in those regions will probably never be seen again or repaired. This is a tectonic altering of the existence of the people in some of those areas forever, for eternity. It's like moving from, an ice age to a warming period. I mean, that's how big of a difference it's going to be to that region and a lot of those places. I mean, tourist dollars, the ramifications of economics, all the way down the line, the exponential effects that this will have are huge. And they're not going to get a dime. And their tax money, nothing. They don't need help. Biden doesn't give a shit. The guy's been on a beach for a week. Kamala's, she's running around talking about yellow school buses and undoing what can be undone, what has been done for the undone. It's just, are you kidding me? No. Have a little faith, baby. Have a little faith. Have some faith in the dollar, baby. Hey, Moriarty, enough with them negative ways. There you go with them negative ways, Moriarty. Have a little faith, baby. Have a little faith. You can't. You can't. In today's day and age, in the oddball Moriarty relationship, Moriarty today would be right. You can't have any faith today. There is no faith to be had in the U.S. dollar or its handlers, the horrors of war. Its direction. We've been talking about this for years. You have to understand and see it at this point that it just doesn't work. The economy is in hardships, and they've been trying to pump air into it. It's just not working. And we already saw that the U.S. dollar, ladies and gentlemen, is being abandoned. The search term de-dollarization hit an all-time high this year. People have been searching for de-dollarization on Google search engines and other search engines because it's a topic of conversation. It's happening. You've been following it. We've been predicting it. We've been talking about it. It's been on this channel. We've been discussing it, right? Right? The dollar is a dangerous currency, former IMF director, the International Monetary Fund director, TRT. The greenback and Washington-based fund are used as weapons against nations out of favor with the West, Brazilian economist Paulo Batista argues. And this is the reason that the BRICS are doing what they're doing, that they're moving away from it. Powell admitted it. Jay Powell even admitted we're going into a multipolar world. We're no longer in a unipolar world. The dollar is not going to be the only reserve currency. That's the way it is. That's just the way it is. And we're moving in that direction. We've covered it. We've talked about it. We've played it on the channel. You've seen it. And the world's had it. A lot of the world has had it. I mean, they've been led along for too long. And I think that they are finally realizing, if anything, there's a chance to exploit some weakness because they're all starting to notice at the same time. A lot of noticing has been happening, and a lot of these other nation states are noticing the way the United States has conducted itself. They realize that we defaulted when Nixon stated he would, quote, temporarily suspend the convertibility of the dollar into gold. When he violated that, when Bretton Woods broke down very quickly, and then as they've seen the economics of the United States, the debt that is owed, the mathematical impossibility it would ever be to pay it back, I think the world is starting to recognize that they've been had. They were forced to hold reserve currencies that are losing value. Nobody wants to buy U.S. treasuries anymore. The long-term outlook of the U.S. paying back these debts, it's looking bleaker by the day. I think they're all waking up to that. Hopefully you already did a long time ago. Rolf says, when you're working 3 jobs and living in cars to pay the taxes to buy the bombs to drop on brown people living overseas, is that doing God's work? Yeah, that's a lot of them believe that, Rolf. Yeah, they actually believe they're doing God's work. It's what God wants them to do is bomb these little brown kids so that the other brown kids can live there instead of these brown kids, and these brown kids aren't selling us their oil anymore, so we got to bomb their brown kids. That's what it all gets down to, man. These people don't like kids. Don't let them. If they're wearing a suit and they're in D.C., yeah, they only like. Yeah, exactly. They hate them. They look at them as they're predators against them. I saw some interesting interviews recently, and I usually don't see eye to eye on this guy, and I think I'll play it. I'll just play it. I think I can actually find it. I won't show the video. I'll play the audio. I think it's important. It's definitely relevant because I was impressed. I was impressed when I heard this conversation, if I can find it. You guys know the what's the Navy SEAL's name that he gets sent out all the time? Supposedly he's the one that claims to have killed bin Laden. You guys know who I'm talking about, correct? He did an interview recently, and in the interview, he discusses some of the people that he happened to kill overseas during the wars, and something he said really stood out with me. He talked about how, what if he had met, here it is, I'll just play it. I found it.
I'm to the point now where I don't think I fought for the country. I fought for some politician's view on something. There are particular guys that I think of that I killed. And I remember one dude in particular that I killed, and like I shot his buddy, and then I came through his room. I killed him in front of his wife in a bedroom because he went for a gun. And I think about him now, and it's like, all right, why did I kill that guy? Well, because he went for a gun. Okay, but why did he go for a gun? Well, because I was in his fucking room at 2 a.m. Well, why was I in his room at 2 a.m? Well, because George fucking Bush was pissed that Saddam Hussein allegedly wanted to kill his dad, so we invaded. And then I start to think, was this guy funny? What if I met him in Paris over a coffee? Would we have actually liked each other and I just kill him because a politician sent us here for weapons of mass destruction that didn't exist? The only reason we were killing each other is because we were born on different parts of the world. That's it.
Yeah. When you start seeing Ukraine and some of these things that are happening right now, like putting us in these wars that there's just no winners. And when you've been to those countries, it's like, damn, like those are real people. I watched real people there, and it doesn't feel real from the United States because we just see it on TV. But like when you've walked those streets, it just hits you different.
Okay, that's the guy. That's the interview. And I sent that to, actually sent that to a friend of mine, and I think it's very powerful. We'll talk about it in a second. See, Stockley fought. Hey, what do you think of the secret window on U.S. debt clock? I like it. We'll visit it later. I actually had it pulled up, my friend. I had it pulled up. There's some good information sometimes on there. Thanks for that. That was a good comment. But I do have it pulled up. Obviously, some of the stuff he said, some people might take issue with. I think it had a lot more to do than the relationship between Bush, Saddam, and Bush Sr. It's much deeper, much bigger than that. Obviously, he didn't touch the third rail. He didn't talk about Israel. Nobody wants to talk about Israel. Israel's the reason we're in the Middle East. Don't you understand? For crying out loud, it's not that hard to figure out. This is very much unlike the Pepe Silvia meme. There is a Pepe Silvia. There is. And his name is Israel. That's the problem over there. But, can't talk about that. Can't. That's the third rail. You'll get deleted. The Mossad will kill you. Whatever, man. Come after me. Come over here. Anyways, dollars, a dangerous currency. They're finally waking up to it, but we already knew this. It's a dangerous currency, and the other countries have been posturing and setting up and positioning themselves. Remember when the Shanghai Gold Index, the SGE, was launched a few years ago, and we were talking about it back then. I mean, you can go into the archives of this channel, and they've served now, at this point, looking back, it serves as a timeline. I think that I've got all of them back in there, but in the archives, you should be able to see quite a few of them in order. And there's some that aren't because they're just boring. I mean, they really, truly are. There's some of those, I'd have to go back, but there's some videos that are not up anymore that are really old. They might be pretty dated, but 90% of them, I think, are still there. And you can really follow the story, the last decade at least, and see this when you start putting the pieces together, because it serves almost like a diary or a blog. Well, I guess it's a blog. That's what it is. It's a visual blogger. When you lay these out and you go back to 2014 or 15 and start watching a Junius Maltby video from back then about stuff that's going on and the metals prices and what this might mean for the currency and the debt and the money and where the debt is when we report on it and stuff, you start seeing that it's just getting worse and worse and worse. And then you start realizing that the dollar is a dangerous currency and the countries aren't trusting it. And because of that, because of also how the United States treated, again, like the Russia situation, the Russian reserves, seizing other countries' wealth. It's mentioned in this article, right? That's when I first saw this earlier and I read it. This was a big standout part. This was the $300 billion. And a friend of mine brings that up quite a bit. And it's not the only time that the U.S. has done that when they seized $300 billion worth of Moscow's sovereign assets that were held in Washington or in Western jurisdictions, with that by meaning a lot of them, I think, in America. But yeah, Western jurisdictions. They froze them. They froze their assets. I think the U.S. has done that before. And this weaponizing of the dollar and seizing wealth from countries, it's not going to play well. It makes it to where, hey, you know what? Those countries will just hold Bitcoin then. Honestly, why not? They could hold anything else because they could move it into something that, well, the U.S. doesn't have a say. They can't touch it. They could cryptographically start exchanging languages of value outside of the U.S. dollar. That's all it's going to take. I mean, the U.S. dollar is not necessary. It is not needed anymore. anymore. You don't have, there is no faith to have in it. I mean, I cannot express to you how dangerous it is at this point, at this juncture in history, to believe in something that is so not worth believing in. That essentially, in my, so again, it's like religion. We can have a discussion here because a pro-dollar or a dollar bull can argue from their perspective on why they think the dollar is going to be valuable. You know, why they think it's going to be worth something. What's the reason for their bullish outlook? Well, because it always has been. America's great. Its greatest days are ahead. We're going to conquer the world. The whole world's going to speak American. There's going to be a McDonald's in every corner, everywhere. What's that song? We all live in America, America. Sometimes Coca-Cola and sometimes war. Yeah, that's it. Everywhere. We all live in America now. We're on the moon, man. I'm on the moon. America, we went to the moon, man. No.
That's what they say.
That's what they say. Rolf says in 2008, GFC Lloyd Blankfein proclaimed mischievously that he was only doing God's work. Is God going to make sure that nothing bad happens to America? Oh, yeah. Yeah. I forgot about Lord Blankfein. Old Lord Blankfein. So there's going to be a comeuppance. There's going to be recompense. There's going to be a right of wrongs. And the universe unfolds as it should, whatever you want to call it. There's going to... This doesn't continue. Other nations aren't happy. And they have a right not to be. You know, they're sitting at a table with a bully. They're being taken advantage of. They're being lied to. They're being manipulated. Their elections are being meddled with by our own agents of disruption, our ambassadors of chaos, whatever you want to call them, our secret agent men, our G-men. You know, they're out there doing things at the behest of the U.S., you know. I mean, I would love to know. You could even, I guess, you could ask the AI chatbot. Maybe somebody could tell me in the chat. I could consult you guys. How many people, how many heads of state has the United States is estimated to have assassinated over the last, 75 years? How many do you think? Had they had their hand in? I'm not justifying the act at all on either side, either way, at all. No way. I'm just asking. I'm posing a question because they aren't, you know. And there's so much to it. Every time I read something and I get into the history a little bit deeper than that surface level, like, yay! And then the Pilgrims and the Indians, they sat down and they ate turkey dinner. And then they lived happily ever after until Ben Franklin gave birth to Abraham Lincoln, because daddies can have babies too. And then Abraham Lincoln grew up and he had a black son and his name was Martin Luther King. And then everything was better forever and ever. Amen. America's the best. I don't understand that line of history. I read below that typically. And when you start reading the real history and you get into the real words, the real material, the big boy stuff, you look past the myths, you start realizing that sometimes the bad guys were the good guys and the good guys were the bad guys, and you start reading other things, the illusion quickly vanishes. And it's funny how you get there. Some people get there through different means. Some people get there on a different path. And the best part is we all arrived here somehow. It's like we're all lost in the woods. We all came from north, south, east, or west. We don't know. And we just popped into some meadow. None of us know how to get out of here. But we all found our way here. And we're having a conversation. We all kind of have something in common. We now know that we're pretty much lost. That's a problem here. We're in a situation together. A lot of people don't get it, though. They're out there still wandering around screaming in the trees. But you and I have somehow, all of us, come together. We found each other, and we have some things in common here. We know what's going on. We know the direction of things. And we have a lot of clues. None of us are experts, though. Not a single one of us knows exactly what comes next. But we know things that aren't right. And I think it's a big first step. Admitting there's a problem. And I think many of us can admit there's a problem. We have been discussing on this channel for years, all of us, that there's some situations that we might believe we have solutions to, but it's yet to be seen how this plays out. We've come to some truths that, you have to hate the state. The state is evil. It is inherently evil and is inherently bad and is inherently prone to violence and theft and the violation of human rights, period. That's just the way the state functions. As soon as you get more than a group of people together and give them some power to do things, they then immediately become bullies and dominate and treat other people improperly, unfairly, and they tread upon them, if you will. And that's where we're headed. It's getting worse, of course, but the bullies are being called out by other bullies sometimes. Sometimes both sides are bullies. But these lies have gotten to a point in which they're costing us some real time, some real money. The theft has spread not only to the taxpayers in the United States, it's causing real pain, real suffering. We're seeing strikes, right? Why? Because of wages. Teamsters are on strike. The guys that work on the docks are on strike, where the ships come in and drop things. Now you don't have guys shipping stuff. You don't have stuff being unloaded from ships. And then, of course, the headline the other day was, this is going to cause more inflation. This is going to reignite inflation. It's like, oh, so you're blaming the dock workers and the Teamsters and the cargo and the delays in shipments. That's going to be it. It's not the Fed. It's not the prices. It's not their disruptions of the economy. Really? It's not that. It's not the Fed and the Treasury, is it? It's not the people printing too many dollars. Doesn't that cause the inflation? So you mean to tell me the bad guys are the workers, not the guys in the banks? Do you see how they did that? They just did this the other day. It's genius, because most Americans ate it up with a frickin' spoon. They do every time. Yeah, what the politician said is true. That's never the case. Anything they say, it's the opposite. Remember that. If you're reading headlines and you're on Fox or MSNBC or CNN or Sean Hannity says it, the opposite is true. By the way, I was driving around, I was listening, and he's trying to hawk gold again because he's Hannity and he thinks he knows about that guy. He probably doesn't even have any. But the funniest part about it is he has there's a site now called Handy Gold, or he tries to get you to buy it through the radio and you transfer your IRAs or whatever. I've told you this years ago, and this holds true. On all of my videos, and I know especially one of them on where and how to buy gold and silver, we discuss it. But I gave you a rule years ago, Junius's rules for buying gold. One of them was what? Never, ever, ever buy gold from a company that also has an ad on AM radio. That's it. If you abide by that rule, I promise you, if you plug that rule in, you'll do better than if you don't. Just trust me. There's not a single gold company that advertises on AM radio that's trustworthy in my assessment or opinion. On the transfer of gold, on getting your gold, the transaction, the engagement with you, the product you get, how you get it, when you get it, and the fees associated, all of that. There are better ways of doing it yourself. Just trust me. Do your research and watch the where and when to buy gold video, and you'll figure it out. But it's just an easy rule to abide by. You don't look them up. If you have a question about a company, you're like, I'm going to buy gold from this company. I saw an ad to this or that. Look them up first to see if they have an AM radio ad. Because if they do, they're in the category of ones to avoid. Very simple. Easy as it gets. There's the secret gold window we were talking about earlier, the USA Treasury dividend dollar purchasing power, and then you've got the Fed banking cartel dollar purchasing power. We've seen this chart before. FDR seizes gold, Bretton Woods, and then you've got gold standard abandoned in 71. These are all benchmark times we've talked about in the past, and you can see them just dropping. The purchasing power per dollar, now 3 cents. And then you've got I don't know what they're doing here. I can't explain the right side of the screen because I don't know what the USA Treasury dividend dollar is about. Not familiar with it, with the way they're doing it there with the timeline. But yeah, 35 trillion if you can see it. we've talked about this math. We've been going over it. I broke it down for you guys recently. And I did some more research on another topic. Again, I was trying to figure out all the silver again above ground. I think it's 22 point... What I could come up with, correct me if I'm wrong, 22.6 billion ounces. I think that's it. I think that's the number, which kind of blew my mind. I didn't really go over that. Hey, Rolf, real quick. Thank you for the super chat, my friend. He goes, could USA reach a debt horizon point whereafter the debt is so onerous that they indebt their children and grandkids into debt slavery? Heaven forbid. Oh, it's beyond that. We're there, man. You can see it on the screen. In the last, debt per citizen is 104 grand. Debt per taxpayer, 269,000. No, the event horizon is there, man. Look at the interest on the debt net is over. It's $1 trillion. It's gonna be hit $1 trillion this year, right? Remember they talked about it. Defense and war, 900. It's almost $1 trillion there. It's going up. They're spending money. I wish they had how much money they gave Ukraine and how much money they gave to Israel. Don't they have I think they actually have a foreign aid spot. I think they do. Do you guys see it? I thought they had a foreign aid one that you could click on and it would take you to all the countries they're giving money to. Do you see it, Mrs. Maltby?
Oh.
I'm looking for it. Trade balance. Maybe not. I thought they used to. I thought they used to have a chart you could click into and it had the foreign aid going to different countries and the amounts. I was trying to keep track of it. It was pretty interesting, but might have been a different site. All I know is they're giving your money away. They don't give a shit about you. They actually hate you. Work harder. Work harder, peasant. Pay your taxes, peasant. Be a slave. Don't ask questions. Watch sports. Come on. Listen to some music. Download Taylor Swift. Just be a fool. Go eat your junk food. Shut the hell up. Stop asking questions. Believe groupthink. Watch The View. Believe whatever you're told on CNN, MSNBC, or Fox. Believe what they tell you. Believe what they tell you. Believe what they're selling you. Believe what they're telling you. But ladies and gentlemen, there are things taking place. I mean, I talked about the strikes in the news already. Look at this headline right below it. Gaza school strike, which killed 22 probably kids, teachers, innocent people, targeted one Hamas figure. So they're going after one guy, and they take out like 22 kids. This is Israel for you. An Israeli airstrike killed multiple children in a former school 12 days ago. These pieces of shit. But there's people in America, they back this. They totally believe it. Well, they had to get that one guy. He was a really bad one. He was one of the worstest of the brown people. He was the worstest one. He was the worstest one. My pastor told me he was the worstest one. This is what these people are like. I mean, they cannot think, oh man, we got to do this. We have to usher in Armageddon. These people love it. These millennialists, or whatever, premillennialists, these rapturitarians, look, they're a little goofy. I'll be honest with you. These Hagees, these Pastor Hagees and stuff, they're a little goofy. All right. If you don't see it, I can't help you out. But they're kind of not there, man.
Joel Osteen is a hero.
Yeah. I'm sorry, that's not the way it plays out. Okay. I'm gonna call you out on it right now. All right. It's not the way it works. Not the way. You don't get a hall pass. You're not gonna like disappear and woo. Hey, where's he going? He got raptured. It's not gonna happen. It's not part of it. It's not the Bible. And I'm not gonna get into a big theological toe to toe with any of you, premillennials, whatever. The whole. I just don't care. I'm not gonna address it. It's like economics. Neither of us is gonna win, man. We're just gonna find out who's right in the end. All right? That's how it is. I'm not gonna win. You're not gonna win. You're just not going to go anywhere, and you're going to endure all the same shit everyone else does. That's how it's going to work. That's the way it's going to be. You better get used to it. Rolf Steiner, thanks, my friend. He goes, are Americans really living in the best economy ever? Yeah, man, the best economy ever. Everyone has to work. It's great. Everybody has to work multiple jobs, barely make it, And at the end of the day, when you log into your Bank of America account, you don't have any money. And then we all pay taxes, and then they give it to Ukraine and Israel because they need it. We'll clean up the hurricane on our own. Don't worry about it. We don't need help. It's the best, man. This is the best country ever. America's number one.
And F Hawaii too.
Oh yeah, what happened to them? They got burned, and then no one,
These are the
Oprah
same,
bought it all or something. I don't know.
These are the same basics that have flip flop stickers on the back of their vehicles and little hibiscus flowers and.
Yeah, they went to
put
Hawaii
a little
once.
Hawaii island sticker on the back of their van.
I went there for spring break. It was great. Yeah, I heard they had a fire. Yeah, give Hawaii back. I think Hawaii should be so. I think Hawaii should be completely and utterly and 100% returned to the native population there. And all Americans should forfeit all real estate and holdings and rights to those islands. Some people are like, oh, what? Yeah, I do. I think they should give it back to them. And then you have a DNA test. Like, you have to have a cutoff somewhere. You got to be like, what do you think? Like 60%, 40%?
I don't know. What do you do with the people that identify?
I don't know. I guess I could identify.
What do you do?
It'd be difficult, but you'd have to kick everybody out, and then give it back to them. So,
23andMe says
have
I'm
it.
0.00004% Hawaiian.
No, you're not.
No, that's what they'd say.
That's what they would say. Yeah, I don't know.
No, I'm 100% Eastern.
Yeah, you're freaking Slavic. It's interesting though. I think they should get it back. It's American imperialism. We don't need the island. It's not ours. Well, naval superiority. Gonna fight Empire of Japan. Cold War. Submarines. Some boomer's just losing his shit somewhere over there. Island hopping. General MacArthur. Look, give them the island back. We don't need it. There's some native. They want it. They want to live their own little lifestyle culture. This and that. Who cares about the resorts? Bulldoze the hotels. Let them have grass huts and have their own hotels. Maybe they'll build casinos like the Indian reservations. I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do. But let them have their islands and rule it themselves. Make their own rules. Kick Oprah off. Celebrities. Take Mark Zuckerberg's land. All of it. All of it. I want Mark Zuckerberg's land to be raided and taken by native Hawaiians. Until the Hawaiians step up and do that, I don't believe in their movement. I will donate money. Do they have like an IRA? Like there's the Irish Republican Army. Do they have like a Hawaiian Republican Army, like an HRA that you can send money to?
I'm not familiar with that, Junius.
Because when I was a kid, I used to want to send money to the IRA.
These days,
I believed in
you
their
can't do
cause.
stuff like that.
I remember thinking about it when I was a kid. When I was like, oh, wait, what? There's still people fighting the English?
You'll get thrown in the
British?
gulag.
The UK? I thought the IRA was cool. I mean, they had ski masks, black ski masks. They looked badass. But whatever. Hawaii, look, secede, take your, find some direction, write a constitution, Bill of Rights, do what you got to do, and take your islands back from the celebrities, all right? Oprah, Mark Zuckerberg, everyone else, all of them. If they're Hollywood East celebs, I don't care who they are. Just take it back. Take your island back, man. Do it. Do it. It's perfect. Perfect for you. Return. Everyone just go back to where they're from, and everyone take their. You know what I mean? Everyone should just it should be like everyone go back. Just let's rewind it. Things got jacked up when people started leaving their spot. How about that? I'll try to go back to Italy, hang out there, but I get to take my war bride with me that I conquered. I have to. Or maybe you have a choice. Maybe we can go live in Poland.
You tell me where you'd rather live.
Poland. But if they clean Italy up, I would like to live there. It's a very nice Mediterranean climate.
It's not going to get cleaned up. Sorry.
Oh, you could clean it up. You give a guy like Mussolini like a good solid run at 8 years straight doing what he wants to do, what he needs to do. You could clean it up. Guarantee it. Guarantee it. You just need one good dictator. And you just give him a little bit. Just let the leash out a little bit. Let him sweep up the mess. And then if he gets out of line, someone pop him or whatever. And then, reset. Start over. That's the threat. That's the way. I think the perfect government, that's the way government should run, is there's like this, you have a Supreme Court. You have like a panel of judges, but they're like judges / executioners. And they're untouchable. You can't take them out. Nobody's allowed to. And if you attempt to in any way or restrict them, it's an immediate death sentence for anyone in government. And that body, that fourth branch, or whatever you want to call it, of government, that judge assassin squad, their entire job is when they interpret collectively, maybe there's like 13 of them, so it's an odd number, that the leader, the guy making all the decision, is getting out of line and doing some things that he shouldn't be doing and usurping rights or violating the people in the republic in any way, they take him out. It's like a safety. So like it's like a kill switch, literally, on a device, like an emergency lever you throw it to shut the bandsaw down because it's going to chop your arm off, or the table saw, or whatever. So you basically, it's like, okay, the leader, the supreme guy, the president, the dictator, the Caesar, the czar, the king, whatever you want to call him. You can call it whatever you want. As soon as he gets out of line, this panel of judges, they gather and they take him out. And there's nothing you can do about it. It's just the way it is. And then they reset the government. They put another guy in there, and that guy would operate out of fear because there's no way he's like, oh shoot, dude, they lopped Charles's head off. Now I'm up. Now I better be good. I better, whew, man, I'm gonna make sure I get this right. It'd be better. I think it'd be cool. Have we tried it? What would we call that form of government? I think it'd be good. I think it'd be a good way to go. You know, there has to be a little bit of fear in that body, and otherwise it's just not going to work. It just doesn't work. It just doesn't function because they get carried away. I can't look at stories like this. They just break my heart. Breaks my heart. They've killed, Israel's killed over 40,000 children, I believe it was, 40 or 45,000 non-combatants, and majority of them children have been killed. And of course the Americans, they all love it. They support it. Yay, Israel's our greatest ally. Really? What do they do for you? What do they do? What do they do? Tell me, explain that to me. Break that down for me. They bring democracy to the Middle East. No, they don't. The only people that can hold public office there or vote are what? Are what? Right? I mean, please, okay, don't lie to me. All right, the Palestinians lived there for over 2,000 years. They have more genetically in common with the earliest, most ancient ancestors of the land, dating back even further than any people relocating there from Brooklyn today. The Palestinian people have the most genetic ties to the region for the longest duration of uninterrupted time since the dawn of man. The whole thing's a cluster F, period. And the only reason Americans support it is because of their misinterpretation of certain things that they read in a book. I'm not dissing the book. I'm dissing the idiots that justify genocide from reading it. All right? If you're pro-Israel, you're a fool. A gabagoon. Or whatever. Gabagool. Get the hell out of here. Like, I don't know. I'm dead serious. Like, I draw the line there. All right? I draw the line there. You can't. There's no way you can rationally support. And it doesn't mean you have to support the other side. Well, he's pro-Hamas. Oh, my God. No, did I say that at all? No, I didn't. But you interpreted it that way because you're small, little, teeny, weeny, itty bitty little brain you have.
What's it called? A smooth forehead or short?
A low forehead.
A low forehead.
Yeah, just a low forehead individual.
Low.
No, true. I don't give a shit about Israel. I don't. I just don't. I never will. You can't even talk me into it. There's nothing you could do. USS Liberty, Lavon affair. No, Kalergi doctrine, all of it. I mean, I'm just sorry. I don't care. They can go live wherever they want to live. I'm sorry bad things happen to you. Bad things happen to a lot of people throughout history. A lot of people, like everybody. Like if you were alive, if you were on this planet, at some point your people got effed up, pushed around, genocided, rounded up, enslaved, slaughtered. I mean, just listen to the Martyr Made podcast sometime. Study history. Look at the ethnic cleansing. The Armenians, the Albanians, the Catholics. I mean, the Moors. There's just so many things that have happened all over the frickin' world. You're not the only one, so shut the hell up. Nobody gives a shit anymore. Done hearing it, all right? Everybody's had a problem. Pick yourself up and do something. Like, go do something else. You've got a lot of money. I mean, you control a lot of shit. So, like, calm down, man. Nobody's trying to hurt you right now. Like, go do what you got to do, but, like, can you leave other people out of it? Can you leave some people alone? Can you stop messing shit up? Can we stop bombing people for, like, a week and just see how that goes on this planet? Can you stop funding both sides of the war? And can you stop it with the weird futuristic plans to make lands for your people and greater states and drawing on maps and saying all the people in this area need to go away and then we're going to move all these people over here? And no, we don't need governments moving all these people around right now, all right? It doesn't work. Thanks, Rolf. Another super... Let's see. Joe Biden was too busy getting a COVID booster shot, thus being unable to visit North Carolina. I was told the vaccine would protect me, but it didn't. Oh, no, as a matter of fact, well, I can't tell you. For those of us who successfully survived the greatest psyop in world history, a round of applause for being a pureblood and not taking the jab, all of you. To those of you who did not take a needle, round of applause. Round of applause, my friends. You did well. You did good. We did good. We survived. All right. Anything else, my friends? I think, for as far as, again, back to the topic, do you believe in the dollar? I think I answered that pretty quickly. No, we don't. We've seen where it's going. We know where it's going. That's what this channel's life has been about. Again, it's the reason I started this channel probably was one of the major motivations was to see if there were other people, put my feelers out there and see if there's other people that felt like I did and didn't believe in the dollar and thought that we should not have faith in the dollar. And I wanted to share my point of view on it. And, of course, I've shared a lot with you guys on a lot of things. It's the way it is. The way it is. But that's it for tonight. That's it for tonight's broadcast. I'm glad you were all here. It was fun to engage with you at the channel member level in the chat and bring up some of the discussions points that you guys added. I mean, it was really good. I think having a back and forth with the channel group, I think it's more important. I think we need to do that more often. I really do enjoy it. So it makes it to where, I mean, you guys can even bring stuff and talking points to the discussion as long as it's relevant and good. And I wish there was a way. I was thinking about it once. I was like, man, it'd be cool to get like a drop phone, like a burner phone, and that way you guys could call up and like we could do like lives. You could call in, and I've always wanted to figure out a way to do that. I'm just not tech savvy, guys. I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to like the little call-ins. I kind of want to get more people on too. There's a couple of buddies that I've thought in the past of bringing on to discuss things. There's some pretty good personalities, close friends of mine, and I've entertained it. But they would want their OPSEC, I would want my OPSEC, and we would keep our OPSEC together. Pretty clear. So, anyways, that's that. You guys have a good night, good rest of your evening. I'll see you on the next one. We'll see what unfolds tomorrow, what news develops, where this thing goes. Who knows? But thanks for tuning in. Thanks for being part of the Junius Maltby Channel. To all of you, thank you for your support, your super chats. Those of you who are still Patreon members, there's a few of you. I see you. I know you are. Thank you for being a Patreon member. That support really helps. It's long-lasting. And if anything ever happens to YouTube, that's where we will be. They are getting their video technology, it sounds like, up and running and improved. So, again, if anything ever happens on the YouTube, I'll be on Patreon. That's where I'll exist. So, until they kick me off, we'll see. But have a good night, everyone. Be well.